Hi ZC, this is Jesse, Strange Shelffellows, figuring out how to work the webcam. We'll see how this goes. Got some music in the background. You're listening to a recent find from a while ago. Dance. So yeah, I had been making videos with my iPhone, and which is pretty good, and I may still do that when I do videos of my 45 collection. It lets me stand there, spin records, do needle drops and things like that. But for a recent finds video like this, or thread responses, I thought I'd give this a try, and the terrificness of having both hands free to be able to hold records and show things off kind of sort of does trump any reservations I have about showing my face on camera. So yeah, making a video in front of the camera this time. I do have some recent finds for you, and it's going to be broken up into two sections because I just talk too damn much. And the first video I made was 30 minutes long, and YouTube said, can't do it. So I've got about 15. So I'm going to get started, and then I'll stop and do another one. Alright. The first things I had to show you, actually, I went crate digging in my own record collection, which I'm sure many of you had that experience of going back through stuff that you set aside, and I'm like, oh yeah, hey. I had an old cabinet Victrola that I'm sending out to auction, and I had forgotten that in the storage compartment was a whole bunch of 78s I'd set aside. So I pulled a few out. This is Broadcast, Lily Marlene, flipped with Ballad to a Lovely Lady. I say this mostly because of the label. It's unusual. It's Keith Griffin of the organ. I'm still getting used to this. Signature label. And this is Harry Cool and his orchestra, which I don't know anything about, but I like the idea of Harry Cool. I think it's a cool name. Good looking Varsity label, so I thought I'd save that one too. I don't think the music's going to be anything special, although the Varsity Rumba Band might be, you know, kicking the pants. This is a Savoy release. This is Errol Gardner. This is Somebody Loves Me back with Laura. I held on to this Columbia one. This is Sweet Lorraine backed with Nat Meets June. This is Metronome All-Stars with June Christie and Nat Cole. And then on the flip is the Metronome All-Stars with Frank Sinatra. There's some good personnel on this. Piano is credited to Nat Cole. Let's see here. Coleman Hawkins is on here on tenor sax. Buddy Rich is on here on drums. Charlie Shavers is on here on trumpet. A few other names that I'm sure jazz folks you recognize, but I don't really know. So I went ahead and saved that one. And I saved this Decca one. This is Andrews Sisters with Les Paul, and I saved it because I was hoping maybe there'd be some good Les Paul work on this. And the flip is the Andrews Sisters with Eddie Haywood doing Them That Has Gets. And the last one is actually a 10-inch songs by Tom Lehrer. Yeah, it's in good condition, so I just thought I'd hang on to it. I'm going to step off camera and turn this down a little bit because I don't know about levels, and if the music overpowers everything that I say and I have to redo this again, it's really going to piss me off. So let me turn this down. Hang on a minute. Okay. And of course, I turn it down on a quieter song. It won't matter as much. Really good. Okay. So the rest of these are, like I said, recent finds, mostly thrift store pickups, with the exception of a couple, which I'll tell the story about. This is Affinity, the Oscar Peterson Trio on Verve. Okay. and you're gonna hear a lot of this. The cover's in really bad shape, but the record's clean. You know, that's the state with all these things. You know, come to think of it, you know, as a community, we should come up with something, some phrase that shortens the cover's in really bad shape, but the record's clean. So something else, an acronym, or it's the record. Insert word that means what we mean rather than that long phrase. Somebody work on that. It's Verve, and this is a German pressing. And the reason you also know it's a German pressing is because cover does that. But yeah, I'm not a big jazz fan, but if it's inexpensive enough and it's interesting in some way, I'll go ahead and pick it up. Christmas with the Lennon Sisters. I'll hang on to this, and for my Christmas mix that I do every year. What is it? I haven't even played this. This is Arcadia. The glare from the screen is terrible. Yeah, let's do that. And yeah, I don't know anything about this. I haven't even played it yet. Another one for the Christmas collection. Pull this out several months from now. Christmas in Velvet. This is going to be definitely a Christian thing, but it could have some good music on it. We'll see. The label on that is Impact. I had higher hopes for this. This is The Forest and the Water. Not very good at all. It is nearly exactly what it sounds like. It is one side is forest music, forest sounds. It's birds and leaves rustling, critters scurrying, and so on and so forth. And then the other side is water, waterfall or something like that. So there is absolutely no music on it either. It's just those sounds. Label's kind of cool looking. Yeah, didn't really do anything for me. I picked this up, the Brady Bunch, and in tribute to Celeste Burkhart, I have to say, Celeste, it took me a while to figure out that you had graffitied the entire front cover of this album and the back. You did it so stylishly and so artfully and with such balance towards both sides that it took me a minute to figure out that this was not the Brady Bunch decorating their own album cover. No, Celeste, you drew all over the record. You know, everybody knows the Brady Bunch, and you have a good idea what kind of music this is. American Pie was terrible, but some of the others were actually pretty good. There were some good musicians that backed the Brady Bunch on their record, so it was okay. Picked this up, one for the 80s collection that I don't even think I'm going to be able to hang on to. This is Love and Adventure. This is really bad. This is from '87, and so it's really getting past the you know, the good '80s, really getting to the really cheesy '80s. This album just didn't go anywhere. It didn't do anything. There was nothing unique or artistic on it. It just stayed on one late '80s note, and it's not a keeper. Mr. Hall of Fame, if you really want it, I'll send it to you. If you don't have it and you really wanted to close out the 80s collection, you can have it. Okay. This is for believers, poets, and lovers. Louis, or Louis Voltaire Ojena. The last name is O-J-E-N-A. Picks this up. That's his name. And there's a verse. Had high hopes for this. I'm going to try and get this closer to the camera in a way that you can actually see some of what it says. You know, from the nature of the record and from some of the titles, I mean, I really had high hopes for this, that it was going to be some like really groovy music, and it's not. It's the guy's poetry, or it's not even poetry. It sounded like more his ramblings, and very banal instrumental music underneath it. So I didn't look this guy up. I don't know who he is. He could be really famous for all I know. I may look him up, but this didn't do anything for me. It was kind of a disappointment. Somebody else, I think DJ Thunder picked this up maybe 2 weeks ago or so. This is Brenda Lee. Excuse me. I picked this up because she covers It's Not Unusual, the Tom Jones song, and she covers a Thomas and Schumann song, No One. I had some hot hopes for either one of those, and they weren't really great. They, again, didn't do anything special with it. And the rest of it is standards, which didn't do anything for me. The Upward Way. This is... I got this wrong on the first one. Let's see. Thank you, Lord, for your blessings on me. That's the title. I picked this up... Oh, jeez. That's a little bit better. This is Flowers Records from Buffalo Gap, Virginia. I don't know where Buffalo Gap is, but I collect labels from my area. And Buffalo Gap, it kind of sounds like it's from my area. So I went ahead and picked this up. This is going to be, you know, Christian stuff. And I don't think there's anything... Yeah, this is just Christian music. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. Feeling Free by Pat Palmer. This is obviously out of the library, and this is the sort of thing that educators used to use with their kids. You know, activities and stuff like that. And now, as an adult, looking at these things and listening to them, sometimes you just have to ask yourself, did they really possibly think that this was appropriate for children? How? Because I have titles on this like, Who Wants to Touch and Be Touched? Really? And Bumpity Bump. Verse 3 of Bumpity Bump is, bump with a part of your body that's hard. Bump with a part of your body that's soft. Bump with any part that you want to bump. We like bumpity bump because it feels so good. Yeah, we like bumpity bump because it feels so good. Now, I tell you what, you put those lyrics on a funk or a soul record, and you got a whole different meaning. And here it is on this kid's thing. Really? I picked these up. I have several of these because actually, sometimes music is good. There was a track on here called Rock and Hula that I had hopes for. Sometimes they're good little rock and roll. Sometimes they're kind of spacey, like some of these broke out the Moog sound, and they can have some really good stuff on it. Rock and Hula was a disappointment. And there's one other here that might have been good-ish, sort of, but this wasn't one of the better ones that I picked up, so. But, yeah, Who Wants to Touch and Be Touched and Bumpity Bump certainly are in the WTF archive. Okay. This is Limbo Party. There's the rest of it. And that's Pete and his Limbo Maniacs. I picked this up because I really liked the cover. The cover's groovy. I don't usually bother with stuff like this. You know, I've got lots of Chubby Checker and his Limbo stuff. I don't listen to that either, but I was hoping for, you know, maybe some good rock and roll on this. It didn't really measure up. There's a couple of good tracks on it, but it is all just sort of the same thing. It's more pseudo-calypso stuff. Let's see, Uggams, and I was hoping for some groovy soul or funk sound on this. Didn't really get it. She's more of a female vocalist and an interpreter of standards than anything like that. I'm almost running out of time. Pretty good though. If you like this kind of music, this is a good album. She has a really terrific voice. You know, right up there with anybody else that does this sort of music, but it's just not my style. I'm gonna stop this, upload it, and then do the rest. Okay. See you in a minute, VC.